Hello, my name is Dalia Ogazar. I am with Dalia Plus Agency. We are a digital marketing agency, and we love to empower professionals with their branding as well as the use of social media to build their authenticity and to build their brand, to build their brand, especially on LinkedIn. And we're big believers of social selling. So I'm hoping with this very short session that you would glean at least 3 different ways where you can take social selling to a higher level, as well as how to empower your brand, your company, and your business with LinkedIn. So social selling, a lot of people hear social selling and they're like, that's not sales. It actually is engagement, social, even though they're marketing terms. Now now everybody is into social selling more so than hard sales. HubSpot, which is a great resource for all digital marketing, defines social selling as when salespeople use social media to interact directly with their prospects. And this is all about relationship building. And salespeople will provide value. That's a keyword, value, in the form of content, in the form of networking, in the form of connections, by answering questions, by offering information, even if it's not requested, just for the sake of maintaining that relationship and making it even stronger than before. And it's all about the content that you need to think about when it comes to social selling. So the old sales model was about cold calls, sales demos, qualifying leads. So that is what we're all used to. The new sales model is about social networking, and we're going to focus on LinkedIn only for this session, about educating and about engaging. Biggest mistakes before we go into like how you can do this. Biggest mistakes is when you are just blasting your message out over and over again. I do this, our products do that, our services are bigger than theirs, da 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 da. This becomes white noise. This becomes to a point where your prospects, your potential clients, will tune you out. Other biggest mistakes are when people are engaging with you on LinkedIn and you are not responding to comments, or not following and having that conversation or that engagement built with your prospects, with your partners, with potentials, with peers. And the biggest mistake is not knowing your audience. So one piece of homework that I would tell everybody is really map out not only your products and services, but map out your potential audience targets, what their pain points are, what their challenges are, because that will also give you an idea of what the opportunities are or the potential opportunities are that you can bring them. And then you build on that, what type of content, what type of education, what type of products will work best for that audience. There's 4 pillars of social selling. One very important one is to build your brand. So when you build your brand, you keep in mind what you are selling or what your brand is about, the authenticity of your voice and your credibility. But more so than that is who your audiences are, who your partners are. People will look on LinkedIn for your brand, not only as a professional, but also your company profile. So you got to make sure that you have this down pat, that you have defined it clearly 100%, and that it is shown on LinkedIn through your profiles, because that will lead to more credibility, more sales, more prospects. Number 2 is you focus on the right prospects. You can't be everything to everybody. So pick top 3, top 4, define who those prospects are by their demographics, by their sociographics, by their pain points. And therefore, when you have the conversations with them, you are bringing them some sort of valuable content, some sort of information exchange that will not waste their time, that will not go on deaf ears, and that will make a difference for them. So that is one thing that you want to do, is almost creating yourself a prospect or a buyer persona. Make sure that you also look at their sociographics, their patterns of buying, how they live, what kind of content they consume, and you can see that on LinkedIn as well. The third pillar is crucial, which is built on trust, on credibility. This is about relationships. Everybody's in the relationship building. Everybody's in the referral building of relationships. Sorry. So when we say trust and credibility, those are aspects of relationship building as well as social selling. I want, for one, know that I would go to certain peers and I would recommend them knowing that they are credible or knowledgeable within their field or within their authenticity and within the topics that they are credible on, experts in. And then I would be able to socially sell not only my products, but also my peers' products and services. So this is where authenticity and having like true conversations also come into play. So knowing your prospects first and foremost, and then selling comes in second. The fourth pillar of social selling is engagement. And engagement is truly, truly necessary in order to know and listen to what your prospects need in order to deliver on that. So it's, there's a statistic that 62% of B2B buyers respond to salesperson that connect with relevant insights and opportunities. And that truly is the case. So that's something that you have to strive on. I'm not going to get into how big LinkedIn is because it says it right here. This is the business social network of the universe at the moment. And people usually misinterpret LinkedIn as it's, just another social media platform. It truly is a conversation platform. And that's how you need to see it going forward. So here's a fun thing to do. And you can pause at this. This is on demand. But if you take your LinkedIn, if you take in your LinkedIn app and you open the LinkedIn app, you'll see a little icon, the QR icon on the top. And the QR icon on the top, you hit that and you'll come to a LinkedIn code, scan mode versus my code mode. What I want you might have to enable your camera, but in scan code, hold it up to the QR code that you see on your screen. So you're gonna hold it up like that. And then you're gonna automatically be connected with me. And so when you connect with me, what I would love is for you to send me a note and say, I saw your LinkedIn profile presentation with coverings connected. Would love to connect with you. Much appreciated. You have very big hair, anything of the sort. But this is a good way for you to connect virtually, to connect at events, and to grow your tribe, to grow your community, and to grow your credibility as well. So first things first, you craft your profile. Your personal profile page, it starts off with a visual. People want to see your eyes. Make sure your headshots on your profile shows your eyes, is not a cropped out picture, is truly professional, and because this is a professional profile. The other thing is you want to make sure that your headline as well as your about section speaks your story, what you bring to your prospects, your clients as a service, and what you want to be known for. What is your brand known for? So this is your storyboard. You want to make sure that your profile is filled out as much as possible. Take a look at like your skills and endorsement section. Take a look at recommendations. Make sure you get recommendations from other clients, from other partners, from other peers, and make sure that you customize your public profile and that it doesn't have all those numbers that are on the end of it. And so you also want to make sure that you are connecting, and I'll show you a couple of ways of how to do that, with potential prospects and with potential partners as well. This is where you build your network. And when you build your network, you want to see it from not only potential partners, but also your clients and their tribes, their community, like-minded people that you want to be connected to. And these have to be relevant in the sense of what kind of content are you or information you're going to exchange from one to another. This builds relationships, your conversations and engagement builds trust, and therefore you will get the social selling machine going once you get this into cadence mode and start using LinkedIn. So this is also where you find talking points, and talking points is about the content you share. Could be something that is relevant in your industry. It could be something that you're really, really good at, like social selling. It could also be something that you have fun or glean on from having a discussion with someone, and then you take that engagement and conversation onto LinkedIn. You could do that with comments. You could do that with tagging. So say you see an article about social selling, tag at Dalia Elgazar in the article and have that conversation and say, hey, Dalia, what do you think of point number 2, 4, and 5, for example? So these are how you start looking at talking points, at content that you're either creating or curating or resharing, and then you tag the relevant people in order to get that engagement up as well for you. You have to start contributing, and the way you contribute, especially with social selling, more so than anything, is listening. And you take a look at, or you listen to the kind of content and conversations that are happening within within LinkedIn, and you glean from that, meaning that is the content relevant, or is it important to other people in your industry? Then you can reshare. Do you take a look at blogs or articles? Do you create your own, or you reshare and curate and tag others that have the same thoughts that you do? And it's how you share it, it's how you tag people that will make you more of a credible source. One thing that LinkedIn has, which is like a hidden gem, is social selling index. And basically what this does is it's an SSI, and it's like a ranking. It will show you how good you are in social selling within your industry compared to others. It doesn't show you who they're comparing it to, but this is where it gives you tips on how to find the right people, how to engage with the right insights, how to build relationships, what's missing from your brand profile. So this is sort of like a ranking system that you can take a look at within LinkedIn. The other thing is it will rank you against other people in your industry, against others in your network. So this gives you some sort of gauge if you're doing it correctly or not, or what points you have to keep working on in order to get a higher ranking. I always get asked this questions: if you're building your network, is there a way to get those contacts in a CSV so you can build a database and maybe send them email campaigns or more customized messages? This is the way to do it. So on the top nav, you go to My Network and you view all your connections. And on the top of the page to the right side, they hide it really, really well, where it's advanced actions, and you can say export contacts. Now, depending on the size of your list, it might take like a couple minutes and it might take a day. So it really depends on the size. But this will export out all the contacts information that is up on LinkedIn. It could be phone number, email, address if they fill that out, and that will be exported in a CSV file for you that you can use. So instead of only taking a look at, okay, is it content that I need to create in order to share, in order to engage, in order to use that for social selling or on LinkedIn? There are a couple of tools out there that make it easier for you. One of them is a content aggregator called Feedly.com. And what Feedly.com does is it collects all the articles by topics of choice into one spot so that you can easily share on LinkedIn or other social media platforms. So Feedly.com is absolutely amazing. The other thing is you can use a social media management tool like Buffer, which is free of charge. Feedly is as well. And Buffer helps you schedule out and analyze content that you post on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram, you have up to 3 profiles that you can put on Buffer. And it's super easy to analyze what works, what doesn't. Does images work better, video work better, etc. And Buffer is easy to use on iOS, on Android, or even on desktop. So a couple of notes is the content you use, make sure it's short and concise because people don't read. Make sure that you have appropriate hashtags. Don't overuse the hashtags. So make sure that you use appropriate industry hashtags or content hashtags. And if you want to redirect them, so like, to another like social media platform like YouTube, or if you have videos of, specific tiles, designs, or flooring projects that you've done, the more imagery that you use, the better off people are going to consume the content you're sharing. Again, hashtags, finding hashtags on LinkedIn has become super easy. So basically, if you do hashtag tiles or hashtag coverings, you will find a list of content that comes up on LinkedIn. It's either content that has used the hashtag, people that have used that hashtag, and that's perfect because those are potential relationships that you can have, or people that are talking about the same topics or the same hashtags that you are using for your content as well. So make sure that you mark those and save those searches, because then it will appear in your feed. You don't have to look for content over and over and over again. Social media, following and engaging, is really a strategy. So more so than anything, take a look at what type of content you want to use as part of your strategy. Whether it's product sheets, whether it's case studies, whether it's videos before and after, whether it's pictures before and after, white papers, you will get to see from your analytics on LinkedIn what copy or what content works best over another. Make sure that when you have a piece of content that you've uploaded, if someone is commenting or liking, make sure that you respond to that. Don't leave that person without a commentary or a thank you, or even tagging someone in a comment and saying, hey, John thought this. Hey, Amy, what do you think of this as well? So you continue that conversation as well. So the types of content you can share is either you make your own content or you aggregate and curate other people's content. If you follow influencers in your industry, that's also a super easy way for you to track on LinkedIn and to reshare and to tag them so that their tribe and their community and their relationships follow you. And you can do promotion, you can do sales, if you will, but do it in a visual way, do it in an informational way or educational way so that it's not a hard sell. I do believe images and videos work really well. And again, it's not tough to try out different things. So if you do an interview with a client, and so it's maybe like a 60-second, what do you think of this concept, or what do you think of this design, and you upload it, you're going to see if it's working or not. The analytics will show you the views, the commentary and the engagement reshares would show you if people liked it, and you do more of that. Always make time for social media. In this case, everybody asks what's the frequency of putting content up on LinkedIn. I would say if you do it once a day, once a week, you have to be consistent. So if you're doing it once a day, then do that once a day. Try testing out the time of day. So if Monday mornings work well for a white paper that you found versus on a Friday night, then you continue doing that. The name of the game is to be consistent and to be authentic about it. So not just sharing for the sake of sharing. Think of your content as your currency, meaning that any content that you put up on your profile, that becomes part of your credibility. That is something where on the long run, you want to have it so that people understand that you are the go-to source for a specific type of content or a specific topic of choice. if you're into writing, and it doesn't have to be with words, you could do it with pictures. People love pictures. Do that, but be consistent. So like do 1 to 2 blogs a month and upload that as a PDF, for example. Reach out to connections. So one thing that I always say is within the social selling world, reach out to connections just for the sake of reaching out, especially nowadays, just asking, how are you doing? Or is there anything I can help you with? Just make sure, actually, I would take this that it's not even each month, it could be each week. And that will come and pay itself forward to you. And believe it or not, the results are kind of amazing. And then schedule some time. So people like to have people reach out to them in messaging. Some people like to have calls. So make sure that you put time aside, that those relationships that you're having on LinkedIn can also translate as a call, as a video call, etc. So takeaways: social selling is taking out the pitching, and it's also the hard sales, and you're creating conversations. And it's about authenticity. It's about content that's relevant. You don't want to waste anybody's time. And you're really honing down into what they want to know more about, what kind of information is relevant to them, so that you're not wasting their time, not wasting your time. And then it's easy for them to say in their head, if someone's asking about specific tiles or flooring, for example, you come top of mind right away. And then you get referred to someone that they are having a conversation with. That's the social selling aspect of it. Then you match your social strategy to your customer or your prospects or to your buyers, and see what kind of content resonates with them. Something that might help them with their pain points, for example, or projects that you know that they are working on. So create the right type of content at the right volume or the right frequency. That's also very important, so that it helps you build that network, and it helps you build that cadence that we were talking about, almost creating like a little social media or content calendar as well. And then you can always connect it back to your business and your products and your services. Again, this is very short. If you have questions, please feel free to contact me at any time. I'm at Dalia Elgazar, or you can message me on LinkedIn. I hope you do connect with me. So use that little QR code. And I hope this helps, and that you took away 3 things from this session. Ciao.